grief about her house.
All right, so let's have some fun here. You're a huge baseball fan. Mark and I both spent long periods of our life in Chicago, going to Wrigley Field and rooting on the Cubs in our youth. Let's talk about the 6 greatest moments in Chicago Cubs history. How about that?
And to start this off, I would say that that's not the easiest thing to find.
Nope.
Mark, you begin it for us.
I begin? Okay. I go with the Ken Holtzman no-hitter in 1969. And this is very, 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 very personal to me. My family left South Bend, Indiana in 69. My mom and dad both grew up in that part of the country. My dad, big.
Are you writing a piece for Granlund? Is that
No, Cubs fan. I gotta say.
Very emotional.
This is emotional, and I'll run through the rest of them. We saw more Cubs games at Wrigley Field of all years in 69. We did not go to this particular game. I never forgave my dad for that, and I think it's our personal responsibility as a family that we didn't show up. That's when the slide started in 69, because we didn't see that no-hitter. Okay, now I'm going to the rest.
God bless America. What is it?
Number 5, Ernie Banks back-to-back MVPs
That's
in 58,
not a
59.
moment. That's a moment.
It's a moment.
Years.
It's a couple moments.
It's a couple moments. So he gets awarded the MVP. I said, you want me to go fast?
No, I'm just curious. Okay. The next
Harry
one.
Carey hired in
list.
1982.
Oh, that is a great moment. in
Okay. Cubs is misery to me. Bartman, 2003.
The greatest
Legend.
miserable
Shouldn't they bring
moment.
him back for the playoffs?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would work.
He'd never make it in.
Eddie Summer Day of the Bleacher Bums is a good moment. And number 1, WGN's birth in 1949. That's Cubs history to me.
Yeah. All right, here's mine.
Those are good.
You can't talk Cubs history without talking about their last championship.
When was that?
The 1908 World Series win. It was
Woody saw it, but you didn't.
A mere 107 years ago. Number 5, I'm going with Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout, 1-hitter against Houston in 1998. All right. Number 4, The Lights Go On.
That was terrible.
In 1988. Oh, I don't think so. I like night baseball. Do you realize they were a holdout for 40 years?
I know.
40 years. The Cubs clinched the NL East in 1984.
Yeah, and everybody thinks that's because of the neighborhoods, because they were cheap.
Yeah.
They didn't want to put
Right,
the
they
lights
won't put
up.
up lights.
Seminal moment, by the way, 1984. That NL East championship. It was the first time they'd won anything in 39 years. Number 2, I'm shocked you didn't go to the Sandberg game. 1984.
Are those the
that was a
two
seminal
home
moment.
runs?
2 home runs against Bruce Sutter. They came back 7-1. It was on national TV, and it spurred them on to winning their division that year. You're not going to believe this. This is very personal to me. The Ken Holtzman 1969 no-hitter. I was there, and I brought my 7-year-old brother to the game, and we sat really up close.
Wow.
And you know the odd thing about that game? It was only one of 2 in baseball history, one of 2 no-hitters in baseball history, where the pitcher who threw the no-hitter didn't strike out a batter. How about that?
That's something.
Yeah.
They're both tearing up. And you want a moment, I grew up a Cardinals fan, and I didn't care anything about the Cubs, and still don't care anything about the Cubs, and don't care whether they win a World Series for another 108 years or whatever it is.
The son of a gun.
Yeah, just to set this up. Number 6, Ernie Banks, though I loved. Ernie Banks, his 500th home run. That's a moment. In 1970.
You want a weird stat about that game? You know how many people were there to witness his 500th home run?
2,000.
5,200 people was it. Yeah.
Everybody thinks about the Cubs. Lovable Cubs always sell out every game. No, they never
Didn't
have.
start till 84.
Yeah. I mean, why would anybody really want to go spend their lives when they were kids going to places that smell like beer and urine? That's what it smells like.
That's my
Number 5,
childhood.
Rich Sutcliffe,
Urine.
his strikeout for when they won the LDS clincher in 1984, as you talked about, they hadn't won anything since World War II. Kerry Wood ties the record. I watched it again this morning. That was a great moment. 18, 19, 20.
Yep.
Boy, he was just
Amazing.
Nailing that day. He had that curveball walking.
At 20
You
years
guys
old,
are
by the
leaving
way.
Out. You brought it out earlier. Gabby Hartnett's homer in the Gloman, the pennant winner in 1938. For people who talked about it, you were talking about, Rick said earlier, I thought he was riding a lead. He said that home run last night was outlined against the sky.
Yeah.
Oh, that's already been used, Rick. I want to tell him that. Number two, I don't know why you guys leave that out. When he was 13, Bill Veeck's father was running the team, and Wrigley had said Bill Veeck's father was a sports writer, and he'd write things about how Wrigley was screwing up the team and everything. And Wrigley called him and said, "Okay, you take over the team. We're waiting. We'll wait forever for Dick Modford to do that." And he hired his kid and said, "Kid, do some interesting things." Before a game, this was not in the off season. I don't know if you guys know this. Before a game, Bill Veeck Jr., the famous Veeck is in Rec, he and his buddy went out and put wire and put up ivy and flowers because there was a group of investors were coming the next day, and his father said,
Pretty up the place.
Yeah, that's exactly how that happened. Was that number two?
Yes.
Okay, and number one, how you guys leave it out? You're talking about 1908, but Merkel's boner.
What?
Think
You'll have
about
to
that.
explain that one, Woody.
Merkel's boner. This was
Fred
before all
Merkel.
these commercials and pills and everything. Merkel didn't play for the Cubs. He played second base for the. He played shortstop, I think, for the Cubs, because the second baseman was
Tinker's Evers a chance.
Evers.
Yeah.
The Giants won the game and were celebrating, but the guy who did it, Fred Merkel, for the Giants, he
Merkel
played
played
for the Giants,
not for the Cubs.
Merkel rounded first and hit a home run to win the game and started celebrating. And everybody was celebrating for the Giants, but Chance realized that he hadn't touched second base, so he was out. He didn't get to first base, so he was out. So he went and retrieved the ball. There's some question whether he just took a ball,
any
whether
old
it was
ball.
the actual ball. And he went and tagged the base. The umpire was paying attention. They called him out. The Cubs won that game and went on because they finished the season tied. And the Cubs won the playoff game. If they had won that game, they wouldn't have gone and won. So it would be 372 years since they won a World Series. Merkel's boner. Put that in. And you can say that in public to people.
All right, that's pick six.
You're laughing.